Nottingham Police Inspector Phil Grimwade is facing a misconduct hearing over complaints that he had posted abusive and misogynistic tweets over the past 2 years, which allegedly included tweets saying that a Sarah Everard activist should have been thrown in the sea at high tide. Although I personally don't see that as misogynistic or, if I'm being honest, abusive, but that might be because I was brought up in an era where we could have a laugh, tell people what's on our minds without people being offended, and say things like, "I kill you," without people taking it fucking seriously. Grimwade is currently on restricted duties after more than 40 of his tweets over a 2-year period were complained about. The Sarah Everard activist he was talking about, by the way, was that ginger bird, the one who took the cameras as an opportunity to get arrested right in front of them, as you can see from her face looking directly at the cameras, which certainly isn't normal unless you've planned it, in my opinion. Grimwade is also said to have shared tweets in which he calls her a narcissist, and to be fair, inflated ego and the need for attention are traits of a narcissist, among other things. Of course, I wouldn't say someone's a narcissist just because of those two traits, but I don't know enough about Patsy other than her need to be on TV and in the limelight in order to call her a narcissist. Oh no, I'm being misogynistic. He has also been said to have called other women batshit crazy, which there are some really batshit crazy women out there, and I wouldn't have thought that was misogynistic or abusive, along with another tweet calling women thick as pig shit. Again, not misogynistic on the face of it, and definitely not abusive if he's talking general terms. Now, it was in fact an ex-cop who grasped Inspector Grimwade up. A woman copper, 41-year-old Alice Vinton, who said his tweets were appalling, adding, "It's part and parcel of the rotten culture at the heart of policing that needs overhauling." Now, I'm certainly not suggesting that Grimwade hasn't done anything wrong here, by the way, as he, as a serving police inspector, has standards to adhere to, which this clearly breaches, but I don't think the overreaction of calling these tweets misogynistic and abusive is conducive to a society of people who have, or supposedly have, freedom of expression. Now, my opinion, by the way, is based on the tweets that have been released. Of course, there could be some far worse, which at this time I don't know about. And if there is, and if there are some that are genuinely misogynistic and abusive, then I will report on that fact when I hear about them. Of course, there are people who disagree with me sometimes, and there are those who disagree with me all the time. But if we start labelling everything as misogynistic just because it's said about a woman, with that being the only reason it's being called misogynistic, then we're heading into very troubled times, more troubled times. I mean, like many who see any mention of what we got a problem calls boat wankers being interested in and actively being caught chatting up underage girls as racist, or any mention of grooming gangs being labelled as Islamophobic, it really won't be long before people like me have zero rights. We won't be able to travel on public transport, or we'll have to sit at the back on the bus, and we'll have to use white straight men who hate paedophiles only public bathrooms. By all means, this inspector needs looking into for breaches of standards, but so far I can't necessarily see anything more than that that's wrong with these tweets.